Welcome back then. A few things have happened over the Christmas period. I haven't really done much painting. I'm pretty much at the same situation I was. I've still got all the cavalry that I need to finish. My basing I wanted to get done. And obviously the Greeks, Athenians and Spartans, I need to get them done. So my own personal stuff is ongoing. I'm going to make a real big effort this week now to get everything based. It might not be finished painting, but it'll be based anyway. And that'll be a huge load. Once it's based, it's just easy then. Ongoing project. Still waiting for loads of stuff from Wayland Games. I will never ever buy from them again. Absolutely shocking service. The start of this channel was a board design for playing HCTW and Rome Total War, and I tried to make a board and I failed, but it was a prototype. I learned quite a few different things, and I finally found the perfect sort of tutorial video. So if you haven't checked it out, the Terrain Tutor, his channel on YouTube, he's got loads of different videos. I've watched it for the last number of years, from him being in his kitchen producing his awesome sort of like tabletop terrain pieces for a number of different game systems, teaching methods and you know, going into not a scientific approach but a bit more understanding of how different things work. He's really good. He's since got his own studio, pushing out great videos, and he's just had a book released, which hopefully I'll get that one day. But from going through his channel and check it out, I'm going to try and be fancy now and put a link into it, but his Frostgrave board, that is exactly what I want to do, apart from magnetise sort of the provinces so that you can move the army standards across as you expand. So I've got a way I'm going to do the board. I just need some foam and then I can get cracking, and I'll probably have to wait until the bigger hardware shops are open so I can go in and browse and have a look. But on top of that then, what you see in front of yourselves now is I got in contact with somebody from New Zealand. We started speaking. He really liked my painting and what I was doing, and he asked if I could do some stuff for him. So in front of me, the vast majority of this is his. He, from what I understand, is more into dioramas. So he's got a big Colosseum piece, and now he sent me through a number of sort of citizens, market stalls and things like that. So I'm quite keen to get started on this. Something different, I suppose a mix of modelling and terrain, and hopefully you'll see how quickly and well these can be produced just using contrast paints. There are a couple of other pieces in here. I didn't really ask for a lot of models or hobby bits for Christmas because I've got lots. But I got a couple of characters: Decibelus for my Dacians, Jubba for my Numidians, a tiny Marcus Aurelius when compared to a Victrix character. The difference between Warlord games is quite similar in some poses, but it's the cavalry where you can really notice it. Whereas one sort of cavalry rider, he just looks absolutely tiny. The horses are obviously smaller as well, but as individual pieces, it shouldn't matter too much. And then down here, we've got 4 female naked berserkers. She's pretty cool. She's got a wolf's head on. I've never ever painted anything like this. I don't know whether I'm going to do a sort of Amazonian army or just add a few elements of these into a German army. So I kind of thought about it, wanted it and needed it really for Rome Total War, Hail Caesar. And having watched the TV show, what was it, 6-part series, what was it called? I can't remember. On Varus taking the 3 legions into Germania, that kind of like started me wanting to do a German army. So anyway, I want to get everything I've got in my 3 display cabinets done by the end of January. everything I've got on order is going to be paused until I complete this project, because as well as these, I've got a number of terrain pieces like wharf buildings and like a bireme. I've also got, he's also sending a number of infantry, cavalry, chariots, so a lot of stuff's coming in. I want to do that to the best I can, as quickly as I can, and get it back to him. So that'll be kind of like priority, and then my background activity is going to be the board, getting that done. I'm not going to beast myself on it. I'll do, you know, I want to make it right. I can't afford to make mistakes on the next one. So that's enough of that. I'm going to get all the skin done on all of these models first. So starting with contrast paints, it's always best to start with the lighter areas, the skins and things like that. And to do this, being Roman citizens, it's normally the Fire Slayer flesh, which is a bit more of a Mediterranean look. My sort of Germanics would be the Gillian flesh, which is slightly a lighter tone. And I think there is one Nubian. There is a Nubian in there somewhere. Here he is at the front. So obviously he's going to be a darker skin tone. I'll have to test and adjust as I come onto that. So I'm going to do all the skin now, get that done, and then I'll probably move on to the tunics. But you'll see the progress as we go along. Enjoy. So it's taken me quite a while to get all the flesh done. It's gone on really well. I think I'm just going to do everything as a one at first, and then just go back in and touch up where I'm sure the paint would have come away. Next, I'm going to move on to the tunics. I think you've got a difference between sort of like the senators, so they're going to be white. So the contrast paint for that is the Apothecary white. So that just gives it a grey tinge. So I'll have to go back in and bring it up with just a normal white. So I'm going to save them to the end. Some of the ladies, I want to give them a bit more colour, because I think they're sort of like the noble women. And then you've got some sort of like normal Roman citizens. So there's going to be a mixture of sort of like light browns, sort of drab, duller colours. So hopefully we've got a mixture of senators, street, drab, and then sort of like better dressed women. At the same time, tiny little Marcus Aurelius, he's got his imperial cloak done. And I'm working on this Numidian, but I don't think I'll do it any justice. I'm going off the guy from Gladiator as my sort of reference. It's pretty hard to do it. So what I've got to do next is give that like a dark blue wash to give it a bit of sheen, and then just go back in with a second layer. Yeah, so I'll come back once I've got all the tunics done. So I'm at a stage now where I've done a first coat on these using contrast paints. The light makes them appear really, really bright, but surely not that bright. I need to go back over, do second coats on them, and just do like finishing details. I'm largely happy. This guy here, I think I'm going to respray him and give him a different tunic colour, because it's not gone on very well at all. So I'll redo him. The remains I'm pretty happy with. I'm not the biggest fan of doing sort of like civilians and I suppose the Gauls and things like that, because you want it to be mixed up and it's hard to find good colours to mix it up. And I'm not entirely sure what Roman civilian women would have worn, but I've gone with it. Tunics are done. White's obviously a hard colour to do, so I just gave them well, sprayed them white, and then I suppose gave them a wash really of the Apothecary white, so the grey just allowed to go into shades, and then I gave it a dry brush over. Relatively happy with them. I just need to do a bit of research on sort of senatorial stripes for the togas. So whilst I'm sort of like in that lull, and then tomorrow I'm going to go back in and just finish them all off, I thought I'd work on some of these baskets. Now there's 6 of these stalls. The wood, I'm just going to do a plain wood. I need to get the bases ordered and done, and they can go on there. So 6 of them to do, and then a number of these tables. So that'd be relatively simple, using the wash contrast paint. So I'll probably do all the wood the same, thereabouts. Potentially do a bit of weathering on these. He wants the canopies to be slightly different, so I'm going to do sort of different base coats, and then probably put some patterns on a couple of them. Yeah, and then these baskets have got like bread, fish, and fruits and vegetables and things like that. So I'm just going to do a few of these, get them knocked out, and then we've got like flowers, I think, and different sort of like wreaths for one of the stalls. So I'm going to do that, and then also the cloths. So we might as well crack on now. Give you something to watch whilst we go. Now I'm going to go off it's these ladies that are going to the marketplace, and this is probably a good sort of way to show off some of the colours we can use. Now what I'm going to just do is just do a few of these different sort of cloths. Yeah, I'm just going to do a few of these cloths. Just going to do slightly different colours. So that was draped over. I want to do like colours that I know go on really well onto flat surfaces. I want to leave them sort of to be on top. The ones that struggle, like greens, I think are quite hard, and a couple of the browns. And then again, just start with a lighter colour, because the contrast paint will stain over other colours. But I'm hoping if I can get a lot of this done today, finishing touches tomorrow, and that's these guys done. Essentially, apart from the basing, it just wants black around the feet of these guys. It's just the bases, so I'm gonna have to order some, probably like 80 mil bases for them. Get them mounted. I suppose being a market, I'm gonna speak to him to see whether he wants them sort of tiled or slabbed or cobblestone, or I mean, depends where it is. If he's doing it at the Colosseum in Rome, I suppose it would be sort of cobblestones and flags. It's fiddly, these little things. So done. So that's what we've got. A few scrolls of different colours, folded up colours. Yeah, let's mix it up, shall we? So I'm just going to keep that yellow on my brush for the Agros Dunes. And it'll give me a slightly different shade. Just get another one on here. Let's go for a bottom one. You know, like go through big clothing departments. They always have loads stacked up, don't they? And all different. You can go through, find your colour and size. That's what I imagine is going on here. I don't really want to put patterns on them. Keep it simple. But whilst I'm doing that, I'll just do this for 5 or 10 minutes, and then I'll end it there for tonight. Try and get it loaded up. Yeah, I'm going to talk about the board. So the Terrain Shooter Frost Games, a game system I've never really heard of or played, but it's like its own created world. So he produced this massive board. I'm sure it was like 4 foot by 3 foot, something like that, which is probably slightly larger than what I wanted to do. Now his advantage was he had a reproduction of the world as a map printed out to scale. And I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to pinch some of this colour and just do some of these loaves whilst I'm at it. Nice toasted bread. So I don't know if you can see that. I was thinking about doing different colours, but bread's bread, isn't it, if it's all one batch. Yeah, so he's got this board, and basically he's done exactly what I wanted to do with my board, but my substructure was wrong. So he's got the advantage of having this map. So he's got it printed out. He laid it down on his foam. So he's using like the blue high density foam. So I want to get hold of some of that. Keep knocking the camera. He traced it on. So the foam is probably like 1/4 of an inch thick, which I think I was probably a bit ambitious with trying to get my heights and scales, and I kept saying it's meant to just be a visual representation. So he stenciled it out, cut it out, hot wire gun, which I've got, so I can do everything he did at that stage. He had a problem with warping, which I shouldn't do because it's already in a frame. And then once he did that, he was then able to start sort of shaping the coastline. Now that's, for me, it's going to be a bit trickier. I don't think I'll be able to do it exactly how I want it. You know, it can't be accurate, can it? So I'm just going to choose sort of a few prominent coastlines to shave down into a beachhead. But that's not really too important. I think I was getting hung up on details, and I needn't have. But what he used for the mountain ranges on his board, which is quite cool, was, well, normal stones and a few rocks, which military tunic red, we're going to call this. Yeah, to build up sort of some of the structure. But then he also, using like tin foil, he was able to sort of create his own moulds. Now I've got some foil type tins sort of thing. That sounds stupid, but hopefully you know what I mean. I think it's a basket of tomatoes. Now this is what I like about the wash. You can just, it's not, I'm calling it a wash, it's not a wash. But that's exactly what I'm doing. Just speeds up the process. It's going to drop into the recesses. The tomatoes underneath are going to look darker. The ones on top are going to look lighter. And that's exactly how it should be. And then what I'll probably do is come around and just do all the baskets at the end once I'm happy. Just want to make sure there's no white or silver from the metal. Yeah, so he created his own moulds, pulled them out, put them on. So that's exactly what I can do for the Alps and things like that. Oh, carrots here. I think they're going to be potatoes. Yeah, so I can easily do substrate like the foundation there, and I think it would be a lot better than should have been. Tracing it is key, so I need to find somewhere that's got a big printer that I can print out sort of A0, get it on stenciled, get my shapes, my relief, get it stuck down, and then I'm going to invest in an airbrush and then just start layering it. Like his was probably harder because he's going from a map of a world that doesn't exist, whereas I can go off sort of like satellite imagery and satellite mapping and get hopefully the right sort of colours in the areas, and then just using a little bit of flock really and some grass to note German forests and things like that. What should we go with? So this dress there looks really pink now, which is not, is potentially this one. Magos purple. So just a few of these. Yeah, so basically where I thought 3D printing was my only hope, and I did inquire about 3D printing, and I think one quote I got was almost $4,000 to do it, which is crazy. And like, just from trying to inquire and speak to people on the internet, nobody has really come back saying that they can offer any help or advice, which is a bit disappointing. Okay. So yeah, a couple of touches on here. We're good to go. Not too many bright ones. I might tone it down for the top now. Let's get one on here. But I reckon, like, when I don't know about you, I get little blips of interest where I want to paint loads all the time, and then sometimes I can't be bothered at all. But I'm hoping having somebody else's models to do will force me back into the routine. I think because it's Christmas and that, you are forced away and you break your routine. But if I set myself timelines with these, I'll do it, and then I've got the board to do as a side project, keep myself motivated and interest there. And then because I'm doing that, I'd also want to get cracking with my my own models, get them ready. Right, carrots. I'm starting to think, I'm sure read somewhere that carrots weren't actually orange. And that might sound stupid, but I'm sure common carrots weren't orange. They're made orange to be a bit more appealing. I know what I'm doing with the fish. I hope they're fish. They look like fish. That's going to be my Seleucid blue. Where's my carrots gone? In here. See, that's gone on quite yellow, but we can use that as the base. Get into all the depths and the recesses, and then I'll use the oranges I've got to go back in. Right. But yeah, so contrast paints, I think when I first started using them, I thought they were the best thing ever. For my models, I'm happy with it because it's just me, my standard, purely tabletop standard. Yeah, it doesn't really matter so much because I'm not getting close. I'm not bothered about real tiny details. I'm more concerned about getting these good looking armies out that look good. So I would be really interested to see if anybody else has done these specific models from Steve Barber models, just to get a bit of inspiration from. More for civilians. So, like, I know I've done these ones now, but for future, I find that probably the most challenging bit. Lastly, before I sort of hang up, really, I just want to say a big thank you to Triaris Wargaming, who he's been a sort of a subscriber from the start, and commented quite a bit, offered some good advice towards my the original part of the channel, which is the board. But because of his shout out, I've got a number of new subscribers, so you're all very much welcome to watch as my armies grow, as I do the board, but then also do this project, which might be not necessarily what you were expecting from the channel, but you might see some cool models. I think the guy who's sending me more, he's got a lot of ideas and things he wants to get done, so you might see it, like it, want it for yourselves. So it'll be pretty cool, and I will switch between this, the board, and my stuff as and when. So I really want to get cracking on. Like I said, April, I want it all done. I'll probably leave it there for today. Get this uploaded. If anybody hasn't already, check out Triaris Wargaming. He's ancients, really good quality painting, and particularly like, he knows the history behind it all. He talks about a very specific sort of era with his army. I do like that. So I don't know, majority of people, I do. I'll just find YouTube, watch it as I'm painting, and then sort of like listen, have a glance every now and then. But so it's quite cool to listen to somebody giving you a bit more information. But yeah, here's a number of good videos up already, so give him a little check, give him a like, subscribe to him, should I say. Oh, this is the question, isn't it? Green apples or red apples? I'll mix them up. Cool, alright, I'll leave it there for now. Like, I'm painting apples and bananas, and you don't need to see that. Yeah, tomorrow then, finish all these off. So hopefully before I even start recording, I'd finished all of these off. You'll see them all. And I'm largely going to be getting cracking with these. So I'll give you a demonstration of how well contrast paint goes in. We're going to sort of look at the difference between the browns and the tans available and see which ones work best. Try and get all the parasols done, and then it would just be finishing touches on these. So yeah, I reckon by tomorrow we could be good to go with all this. Right, so as always, thank you very much for watching. Please interact, ask any questions, offer any advice that you've got, or if you've had any ideas how I can improve my board, let me know. I'll be really interested to hear it and talk with you. And if you think you know anybody who might also be interested in this, yeah, please get them to have a look. But hopefully you'll see another video very shortly. Okay, that'll do. Cheers.